everyone, I'm here with Cindy.
Hi.
And Daniela.
Hello.
Two of my favorite students. So what I wanted to do today was to bring two experts about this program, and they'll be able to share about the application process, why they wanted to apply for the GKS program, some of the benefits and perks of the program, and also how they might encourage you, those who are interested in applying. So, yes. So as you know, for the program, there are two different tracks that you can apply, the university track as well as the embassy track. And Cindy, over here, came to Ewha GSIS through the university track, and Daniela came through the embassy track. I'll have them talk a little bit about the process, about how they applied here and how they got accepted. Cindy.
Hi.
Hi.
You're first.
Okay, so I applied via the university track. So there's a lot of differences between the embassy and university, and the biggest one is when you choose university track, you only have one shot and one university to pick, whereas embassy you can pick, I think, up to 3 different universities. So you have to be really sure about the university you want to go to, and I was really sure that I wanted to go to Ewha Women's University. As you can see behind us, beautiful campus, one of the draws. But of course, the teachers and the curriculum really interested me because, one, being a women's university, I felt that it was a place where I could grow and be supported by other women, of course. And many of the faculty are women as well. How many men are?
Yeah, it's kind of half and half, I think. We're pretty close to half and half.
And actually, I took courses by all women, so I felt really empowered by them, and I felt like a close kinship with them almost because they're the footsteps I want to follow.
I'm curious, so you chose Ewha, so that's like a risk. Were there any other schools kind of in your radar that you were thinking of, potentially to apply to?
I was looking at all the GSIS programs, but I think this is one of the few that has an international business track directly. Other ones had like finance or trade. I'm pretty sure this is the only one that has business. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong. So the one thing you have to kind of keep in mind though is that when you choose embassy track, there's over 140 countries that are participating in that. But when you do university track, I think there's only 70 something countries. So not all countries do university track. And also the competition's a little bit different. So for example, in embassy track in my year, from the United States, there were 15 candidates to be selected. But for university track, there was only 5. So there's more competition, if you can think about it that way, because there's less spots available. Yeah.
Did you think about doing the embassy track as well?
I thought about it, but it's one of the complications was that I was already living in Korea. So when you do embassy track, you have to apply from an embassy, I think, outside of Korea. So I would have your own embassy, right? She's the embassy person, so she knows a bit better. I have heard some people were able to do online interviews through the embassy, but then I heard other people had to physically go there. So I would have had to find a way to fly back to America just for the interview, maybe. Yeah, so that was a concern of mine and I didn't want to deal with it. And besides, I only wanted to go to one university, so it didn't seem worth it to take that risk. Yeah.
Great.
So in my case, I applied through embassy track, Korean embassy in Colombia. So we have 3 options. I applied to Ewha, I applied to Jungang Daehakgyo, and I applied to Hanyang Daehakgyo. I was accepted to the 3 of them actually, so it was really difficult for me to finally decide to which university go. In my case, I focus more on the programs than the universities. Like I searched through the whole curriculum and what kind of courses I could take and this kind of stuff. And actually my final decision was based on this. I was really interested in almost all of the courses they were teaching in all of the programs I applied to. So at the end also kind of kisuksa. It played a big role when I took the final decision because all of them are great universities, right? So all of them have really good professors and good programs, stuff like this. So for me at the end it was a really good thing about Ewha is that we have a discount for being GKS students in the kisuksa, in the dormitory. So it's really cheap compared to other universities. I think it's the cheapest one of the cheapest one, and it's really comfortable. So I got to know this. So it was if all of them are really good, but I have I will be able to save more money in Ewha, then I'll just go to Ewha. And now I'm like, I took a really good decision. Like I don't regret at all. I was a little bit worried about being just girls in university, to be honest, because it was my first time, like, of course, like, but it has been perfectly fine. I love it. I really love it. I love my professors and now
She has to say this.
I'm taking 2 classes with her and 2 classes last semester too. I'm really happy here and I really did well. Regarding my process, I think for embassy track, the most difficult filter is embassy. For example, for Colombia, there are only 4 spots for embassy track, and we actually have 4 more for university track. So you compete with people from your own country. I actually applied twice. I failed the first time, then I apply again. The ones who are selected, they send the papers to NIIED, which is the second filter. That filter is easier actually for embassy track than for university track. I have heard that more people from university track, they pass the first filter, which is university track, and then they fail second filter. So yeah, embassy track is the hardest part is embassy, and for university hardest part is NIIED.
Did you ever think about applying for the university track rather than the embassy track?
No. Because first time I applied to embassy track, I didn't even make it to the interview in the embassy. In my case, I had been really active in my country regarding Korean cultures. I went to many events. I volunteered to teach Korean there, and I did a lot of things related to Korea that I thought maybe this will be more important for the embassy than for university. So I thought maybe I will get more chances in embassy track than university track, because in university track I will be just a normal person from some part of the world. But in Colombia I thought maybe that would make me a little bit special. I don't know, that's what I thought. So even if I had failed the second time, I would have applied again to the embassy next year. I told them there, if I fail this time, I will just apply next time. So maybe you will have me here every year till you accept me. So maybe if the faster, the better. I don't know.
She said she had a better shot at embassy because she had more activities in her country. And I felt I had a better shot at university track because the process of writing your statement of purpose and your things like your study plan, I was able to write it really detailed because I could choose the exact courses and why I wanted to take those courses and why specifically this university, versus talking about your future major and why you wanted to pick one of the 3 universities. You have to be more general and try to cater to all of them, whereas I was super specific, which I think was helpful and I thought gave me an advantage that way.
So speaking of advantages when it comes to applying, I know that a lot of students are interested in not just competition. I know that they know that there's fierce competition, but based on your successful application, what do you think about your application made you attractive as a candidate?
I think for me, again, being very detailed was part of it. I did a lot of research. It took me maybe 6 or 7 months just to write both essays, because I wanted to be really clear and I wanted to be really sure that I was getting my point across as to why I needed the scholarship, how it was going to benefit me, what it was going to lead to in the future. Because I think one of the most important things that the GKS scholarship looks for is exactly how this is going to benefit you. Not that it's just a good experience overall, but what future lies ahead. Because there's actually one portion that says, what is your future goals and studies? So the more specific you can be in that, and the more specific you can be as why Korea as well versus other country scholarships, I think the better. Another point is also having some Korean language ability is always a huge benefit. So I studied a lot and I got TOPIK 5. So if you have TOPIK 5, you can bypass the language year. So it saves you time and also saves the scholarship some money. So it might actually be in your favor to do that. And actually they give you an extra 100,000 won a month for having TOPIK 5. So you get money as well. So it's sort of a win-win situation for everybody involved.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So from TOPIK 5, so at least a 5?
At least a 5. But of course, remember that the TOPIK score only lasts 2 years, so you do have to renew it. I forgot to renew mine. I didn't take the test again, so I didn't get it this semester.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. That's okay. It's fine. It's okay. I'm fine. So in Korean ability, having a good statement of purpose and a study plan. And then third, I would say showing interest in Korea and showing that you're willing to live abroad for a long period of time. Because they're investing so much money in you and in your future, they don't want to see you drop out. because that does happen in this scholarship. So if you can show that you've lived in Korea for some time or lived abroad, I think for some time would help as well to show that you can adapt to a different culture. I think that's a huge bonus as well.
In my case, I was really interested in Korean culture and I was really interested in pursuing a master's degree. But it's not just writing that you are interested, it's like showing them how you are interested. So I think that makes the difference. Like I was not telling them like, I really like Korean culture, but I was doing stuff to help Korean culture to spread in my country, for example. I went to many events related to the Korean embassy. Every chance I had to teach about the culture, the language, and my experience here, because I came here for an exchange before. I took it, so I think that made the difference. Like I'm not just interested, I'm showing you I'm really interested into the Korean culture and I'm really interested into moving forward to my master's degree. So I also went deeper into that part, like why I wanted to pursue my master's degree, why it had to be Korea, and why I will keep linking like Korea and Colombia, for example. How I will improve the relations between Korea and Colombia in my own way. The key point was not only telling them, is showing them with facts. So I think that made my application a little bit maybe stronger, and I told them I will be back. So send me, please.
I think I want to add that some people worry about changing majors, because I actually saw in one of your comments.
Yes.
People are worried about coming from a different major to something like international business or international trade, and that's actually my situation. I was a former linguistics major and then I switched over to this field, but I think there's always a way to link your former major and your current one. And let's say for mine, linguistics, you would just think studying languages. How is that related to business? But however, you do acquire analytical skills and you do acquire a sense of how people speak to each other and how that works internationally in different environments, even in business environments. So that does all play a role. And if your major doesn't connect, maybe your work experience does. So there's always threads that you can tie together in your application to make you seem like a more valuable candidate.
Regarding the international experience, even if you don't have international experience, this is not mandatory to apply for the scholarship. So if you don't have international experience abroad, try to find international experience inside of your country. So that also works. Just try to show them, in case of embassy track, because they also want to see you will be able to stay in a foreign country for a long period. So try to show them how you interact with other cultures, how you adapted to their cultures, and how you understand others' thoughts and values and stuff like this. You can just find the chances inside of your country too.
And so I'm wondering, just based on your experience, how easy or difficult has it been to be a part of the GKS program?